Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build step by step. Imagine walking into any room with unshakable self-belief, speaking your truth without fear, and knowing you are enough just as you are. The journey to becoming the most confident version of yourself isn't about perfection. It's about progress. In this talk, we'll explore 7 powerful steps that will help you break free from self-doubt, silence your inner critic, and unlock the bold, unstoppable version of you that the world is waiting to see. Number 1. Self-awareness is the foundation. Self-awareness is the starting point of true and lasting confidence. Because before you can stand boldly in front of the world, you must first understand who you are on the inside. Too often, people chase external validation, trying to impress others or fit into molds that were never meant for them, only to feel empty and insecure when their applause fades. Real confidence does not come from pretending to be someone you're not. It comes from embracing your authentic identity, your strengths, and even your flaws. Developing self-awareness means taking time to reflect honestly on your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, and asking yourself why you respond to life the way you do. It's about identifying what you're good at, what drains you, what triggers your fear, and what fuels your passion. When you know yourself deeply, you stop comparing your journey to others, because you realize your path is unique and worth celebrating. This kind of self-knowledge allows you to build confidence on a solid foundation rather than shaky ground. Think of it like constructing a house. Without a strong foundation, the entire structure collapses when the storm comes. But with deep roots in self-awareness, you can weather any challenge. Practically, cultivating self-awareness can be done through journaling, meditation, or even asking for honest feedback from trusted friends or mentors. It requires courage to face your weaknesses, but doing so liberates you from insecurity, because when you accept your imperfections, no one else can use them against you. Likewise, recognizing your strengths allows you to lean into your gifts with pride, instead of minimizing them out of fear of judgment. Self-awareness also keeps your ego in check. It helps you stay humble, grounded, and open to growth. The more you understand yourself, the more you can manage your emotions in high-pressure situations, communicate with clarity, and make choices aligned with your values. Confidence that comes from self-awareness is not arrogant, loud, or showy. It is quiet, steady, and unshakable because it is rooted in truth, not performance. When you truly know who you are, you stop seeking approval from others, and you start living with intention, authenticity, and courage. That is why self-awareness is the first and most essential step toward becoming the most confident version of yourself. It equips you with clarity, self-acceptance, and the strength to stand tall in your own skin, no matter where life places you. Number 2, master the power of positive self-talk. The way you speak to yourself shapes the way you see the world, and mastering the power of positive self-talk is one of the most effective tools to build unshakable confidence. Every day we all have an inner voice running in the background, and unfortunately for many people that voice is filled with criticism, doubt, and fear. Thoughts like, "I'm not good enough, I'll never succeed," or "people will judge me," act like poison, weakening self-belief and keeping you trapped in insecurity. The truth is, your mind listens to everything you tell it, and it responds by shaping your emotions, actions, and habits. Positive self-talk doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending life is perfect. It means intentionally choosing words that uplift, encourage, and push you forward instead of holding you back. When you replace phrases like "I can't do this" with "I am capable and I will figure this out," you shift from a mindset of limitation to one of possibility. Over time, these empowering statements become internal truths that guide your behavior, fuel your confidence, and help you take bold action even in difficult situations. Science even shows that affirmations and positive self-talk can rewire your brain, strengthening the neural pathways associated with resilience and self-belief. To master this step, start by becoming aware of your inner dialogue. Notice when your mind defaults to negativity, and consciously challenge those thoughts with kinder, stronger, and more empowering words. Write down affirmations that resonate with your goals, such as "I am enough," "I have the courage to grow," or "I am worthy of success," and repeat them daily until they become second nature. Another powerful method is to speak to yourself the way you would speak to a loved one, with encouragement, patience, and compassion. Would you tell your best friend they're a failure just because they made a mistake? Of course not. So why say that to yourself? Positive self-talk builds emotional resilience, allowing you to bounce back faster from setbacks and face challenges with a steady heart. Over time, it creates an inner environment of strength where self-doubt cannot easily survive. When you consistently choose uplifting words, your confidence grows from within, independent of external validation. You become your own biggest supporter, motivator, and cheerleader, and that kind of internal power is unstoppable. That is why mastering the art of positive self-talk is not just a step, but a lifelong practice that transforms the way you think, feel, and show up in the world. Number 3, body language speaks louder than words. Your body often speaks long before your mouth ever does, and the truth is, people believe what they see more than what they hear. That's why body language is such a powerful tool for building confidence. It communicates self-assurance, strength, and presence without you having to say a single word. Think about the difference between someone who walks into a room with slouched shoulders, downcast eyes, and hesitant movements, versus someone who enters with their head held high, shoulders back, and a steady, grounded posture. Even before either person speaks, we naturally assume the second individual is confident, capable, and trustworthy, while the first appears insecure and unsure. Mastering confident body language is not about faking arrogance or putting on an act. It is about aligning your physical presence with the confidence you are developing internally, creating harmony between how you feel and how you show up. Simple changes make an enormous difference. Standing tall with open posture, maintaining comfortable eye contact, offering a genuine smile, and moving with purpose all create an aura of confidence. These non-verbal cues not only influence how others perceive you, but also how you perceive yourself. Psychology research shows that power poses and intentional posture can boost feelings of confidence and even reduce stress hormones in the body. In other words, the way you carry yourself can literally reprogram your brain to feel more empowered. To practice, pay attention to small habits like crossing your arms tightly, fidgeting, avoiding eye contact, or speaking in a rushed tone. These habits unconsciously signal nervousness. Replace them with relaxed shoulders, steady breathing, deliberate hand gestures, and controlled pacing when you speak. Another key element is mirroring the body language of others in a subtle, respectful way, which builds rapport and makes you appear more relatable and secure in social interaction. Confidence is not just in the words you say, it's in how you occupy space, how you use silence, and how you express yourself without speaking. When your body language communicates certainty, people are more likely to listen to you, respect your presence, and trust your word. Over time, practicing strong body language not only changes how others respond to you, but also how you feel inside, because the body and mind are deeply connected. That is why mastering body language is essential. It allows you to project confidence outwardly while reinforcing it inwardly, helping you step into every situation with undeniable presence and authority. Number 4, step out of your comfort zone. The comfort zone is a silent trap. It feels warm, safe, and familiar, but it also quietly limits your potential, keeping you from discovering who you could truly become. Every person dreams of growth, success, and confidence, yet many remain stuck because they fear stepping into the unknown. The truth is, confidence does not grow when everything feels easy. It is built in moments of discomfort, challenge, and risk. When you dare to leave the security of routine and confront the things that scare you, you begin to realize that fear is not a wall but a doorway to new strength. Imagine someone afraid of public speaking who finally pushes themselves to deliver a short talk. They may stumble at first, but simply facing the fear is a victory that plants the seed of confidence. That seed grows each time they stretch themselves again. Stepping out of your comfort zone does not require giant leaps. Even small intentional acts of courage can reshape how you see yourself. Trying something new, speaking up in a meeting, asking questions, or setting a bigger goal than usual. All these choices remind you that you are capable of more than you give yourself credit for. With each new challenge, your comfort zone expands, and what once felt terrifying becomes natural. Yes, mistakes will happen along the way, but those mistakes are proof that you are moving forward, while staying comfortable only guarantees stagnation. In fact, every successful person has a history of facing rejection, setbacks, and failures. Yet those experiences became stepping stones to resilience and self-assurance. By leaning into discomfort, you train your mind to see fear not as a signal to retreat, but as a sign that growth is happening. Over time, this rewires your mindset. Instead of asking, "What if I fail?" you start asking, "What might I gain if I try?" That simple shift transforms hesitation into action, and action into confidence. When you regularly challenge yourself, you stop waiting for the perfect moment and begin creating opportunities instead. Confidence at its core is the trust that no matter what happens, you will be able to handle it. And you only develop that trust when you test yourself in real-life situations. That is why stepping out of your comfort zone is not just a suggestion, but an essential step in becoming the most confident version of yourself. Because only by daring to grow beyond fear can you unlock the fearless, capable, and powerful person you were meant to be. Number 5. Turn failures into fuel. Failure is often seen as the end of the road, a sign that we are not good enough. But in reality, failure is one of the greatest teachers and an essential ingredient in building true confidence. Every setback carries within it the seeds of growth, resilience, and wisdom, if only we choose to see it that way. The most successful and confident people in the world did not arrive at their achievements without stumbles, mistakes, and disappointments. They succeeded because they learned to transform those failures into fuel for their journey. When you fail, it is easy to let shame, regret, or fear of judgment weigh you down. But if you reframe failure as feedback, it becomes a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. Each time you fall short, you gain valuable insight about what works, what doesn't, and how you can improve next time. This process not only strengthens your skills, but also hardens your resilience, proving to yourself that setbacks cannot break you. Confidence doesn't mean never failing. It means trusting that failure will not define you but refine you. Think of a child learning to walk. They fall countless times, yet each fall builds balance, strength, and determination until eventually, walking becomes second nature. In the same way, your failures are not evidence of weakness, but proof that you are daring to try, to learn, and to grow. By embracing them, you train yourself to see obstacles as opportunities for transformation. To turn failures into fuel, start by shifting your self-talk in moments of disappointment. Instead of saying, "I'm a failure," say, "I failed at this, but now I know what to do better." Extract the lessons, adjust your strategy, and move forward with more clarity than before. Over time, this mindset makes you unstoppable, because failure loses its power to paralyze you. In fact, the more you fail, the braver you become, because you realize you can survive setbacks and still keep moving. Confidence rooted in this perspective is unshakable, because it is not built on perfection but on resilience. Every time you rise after a fall, your inner belief grows stronger, reminding you that you are not defined by what went wrong, but by how you respond to it. That is why turning failures into fuel is one of the most powerful steps in becoming the most confident version of yourself, because it transforms your scars into strength, your struggles into wisdom, and your setbacks into the very energy that propels you forward. Number 6. Consistency builds certainty. Confidence is not built in a single moment of motivation or a one-time victory. It is forged through the quiet, steady practice of showing up for yourself every single day. And that is why consistency builds certainty. When you commit to small, repeated actions, you train your mind and body to trust that you can rely on yourself. And this self-trust is the very root of unshakable confidence. Too often, people wait for inspiration before taking action. But true growth happens when you act consistently, even when you don't feel like it. Whether it's exercising, practicing a skill, working on your goals, or building healthy habits, each small act compounds over time, creating undeniable proof that you are capable and disciplined. Confidence thrives on evidence, and consistency provides that evidence. Every day you follow through, you remind yourself, "I can do this. I can be trusted. I keep my word." On the other hand, inconsistency erodes confidence, because it leaves you uncertain about your own reliability. Imagine someone preparing for a marathon who only trains sporadically. They will arrive at race day anxious and unsure. but if they train steadily, even in small increments, they will arrive confident, not because of luck, but because their preparation has built certainty. The same principle applies to every area of life. Consistency also transforms difficult tasks into second nature. What once felt overwhelming eventually becomes part of your rhythm, reducing fear and boosting confidence. This doesn't mean perfection, it means progress. Even on days when you stumble, choosing to recommit the next day keeps the chain of consistency alive, and that resilience strengthens you even further. Over time, the effort you put in compounds into mastery, and mastery creates confidence that no one can take away from you. Consistency also teaches patience, reminding you that real transformation is not instant but gradual, and that sticking with the process will always yield results. When you are consistent, you no longer need to hype yourself up or rely on external validation. Your certainty comes from the undeniable track record of your own action. That is why consistency is so powerful. It eliminates doubt, builds momentum, and creates a solid foundation for lasting self-belief. If you want to become the most confident version of yourself, commit to being consistent, because in that daily discipline lies the certainty that you can handle anything life throws at you. Number 7. Surround yourself with empowering people. The people you allow into your life have a profound impact on the way you see yourself, the decisions you make, and ultimately, the confidence you carry, which is why surrounding yourself with empowering people is essential to becoming the best version of yourself. Human beings are naturally influenced by their environment, and whether you realize it or not, your inner circle either lifts you higher or pulls you down. When you spend time with people who constantly criticize, doubt, or belittle your dreams, their negativity begins to seep into your mind, reinforcing self-doubt and weakening your confidence. On the other hand, when you choose to surround yourself with people who believe in you, encourage you, and challenge you to grow, their energy strengthens your self-belief and pushes you toward greater heights. Empowering people don't just flatter you, they hold you accountable, inspire you to aim higher, and remind you of your potential when you forget it yourself. They celebrate your wins, support you in your struggles, and offer wisdom when you feel lost. This kind of community creates a safe space where you can take risks, make mistakes, and still feel valued, which in turn boosts your courage to step out with confidence in the world. Building this circle requires intentionality. Sometimes it means letting go of toxic relationships, no matter how familiar, and choosing instead to invest in friendships, mentors, or networks that feed your growth. Look for people who embody the qualities you admire: resilience, positivity, authenticity, and allow their example to sharpen you. At the same time, remember that confidence is also about being that empowering presence for others. When you encourage and uplift those around you, you not only strengthen them, but also reinforce your own sense of worth and capability. Surrounding yourself with empowering people is not about dependence. It's about mutual growth, iron sharpening iron, and creating an atmosphere where success, positivity, and confidence thrive naturally. Over time, their belief in you becomes a mirror that reflects your own potential more clearly, making it easier for you to walk boldly in your truth. That is why choosing the right environment is one of the most powerful steps in building confidence, because when you surround yourself with empowering people, you step into a circle of strength that constantly reminds you that you are capable, valuable, and unstoppable. Number 8. Master a skill and share it. One of the fastest and most reliable ways to build confidence is to master a skill and then share it with others, because nothing strengthens self-belief like competence combined with contribution. When you dedicate yourself to learning something deeply, whether it's public speaking, writing, cooking, coding, teaching, or any other valuable ability, you create undeniable evidence of your capability. Each hour of practice sharpens your expertise, and each small improvement builds a sense of pride and accomplishment. Mastery eliminates insecurity, because you no longer rely on guesswork or luck. You know that you can deliver, and that certainty becomes the foundation of confidence. But the true power of mastery is unleashed when you begin to share it with others. Teaching, mentoring, or simply using your skills to help people multiplies your confidence, because it shifts the focus from "do I know enough" to "how can I add value?" Every time someone benefits from your knowledge or ability, you are reminded that what you've worked hard to develop matters, and that realization fuels even greater self-assurance. For example, someone who learns photography may start off timid, but once they share their art and see it inspire or serve others, their confidence soars. Similarly, a person who masters leadership skills and mentors a colleague not only reinforces their own knowledge, but also experiences the joy of empowering someone else. Mastering a skill also teaches discipline, patience, and resilience, because true expertise requires time and consistency, and those very qualities build inner strength. At the same time, it guards against arrogance, because mastery is a journey of continual learning. The more you know, the more you realize there is to discover. Sharing your skill keeps you humble, connected, and purposeful, transforming confidence from self-centered pride into service-driven strength. Moreover, skills are timeless. They stay with you regardless of circumstances, giving you confidence that no matter what life throws your way, you carry tools that can create opportunities. This inner resourcefulness is one of the most empowering feelings you can have. That is why mastering a skill and sharing it is such a powerful step toward becoming the most confident version of yourself. It proves to you that your effort creates value, it transforms knowledge into empowerment, and it allows your light to shine in a way that inspires and uplifts others. Confidence built on mastery is lasting, because it is rooted not in external validation, but in the undeniable truth of what you can do and how you can serve. Number 9. Celebrate small wins daily. Confidence is not created in giant leaps or overnight success. It is built brick by brick through the daily recognition of progress, which is why celebrating small wins is such a powerful practice for becoming the most confident version of yourself. Too often we overlook the little victories: finishing a workout, completing a task on time, speaking up in a meeting, or simply showing up on a tough day, because we think only big achievements are worthy of celebration. But the truth is, every small step forward is proof that you are growing, and acknowledging those moments reinforces your belief in yourself. When you celebrate small wins, you train your brain to notice progress instead of focusing on what is lacking, and this shift in focus creates momentum. Psychologists call this the progress principle. When you see evidence that you are moving in the right direction, your motivation and confidence multiply. Think of it like climbing a mountain. If you only look at the peak, you will feel overwhelmed and discouraged. But if you pause to recognize each milestone along the path, you'll find the strength to keep climbing. Celebrating doesn't mean throwing a party for every step. It can be as simple as pausing to say, "I did it," writing it down in a journal, or rewarding yourself with something meaningful. These small acts of acknowledgement create positive reinforcement, telling your mind that effort is worthwhile, which makes you more likely to keep going. Over time, these daily celebrations build a habit of gratitude and self-recognition, two pillars of strong confidence. They also silence the inner critic, because instead of fixating on imperfections, you are affirming your progress. Even on days when life feels heavy, finding one small win to celebrate, like getting out of bed, making that phone call, or staying committed to your goals, reminds you that you are stronger than your struggle. Small wins, when stacked together, create big victories, and confidence grows naturally as you see yourself succeeding step by step. This practice shifts confidence from being a distant destination to being a daily experience, one that compounds over time into unstoppable self-belief. That is why celebrating small wins daily is not just about boosting your mood, it's about training your mind to believe in your ability, cultivating resilience, and building a deep, unshakable confidence rooted in consistent progress. Number 10. Live authentically without apology. True confidence is not about pretending to be someone else, seeking constant approval, or fitting into the molds that society tries to force upon you. It is about living authentically without apology, embracing who you are and standing firm in your truth. When you live authentically, you stop wasting energy on masks, comparisons, and people-pleasing, and instead, You pour that energy into becoming the fullest expression of yourself. This authenticity creates a natural confidence that cannot be shaken because it is rooted in honesty, not performance. Too many people dim their light out of fear of judgment, rejection, or criticism, but in doing so, they rob themselves and the world of the uniqueness they carry. Living unapologetically doesn't mean being arrogant, selfish, or careless about others. It means honoring your values, pursuing your passions, and refusing to shrink yourself to make others comfortable. Confidence blooms when you realize that your worth is not up for debate, and you don't need to apologize for your voice, your dreams, or your individuality. Authentic living is magnetic. When you stand in your truth, people are drawn to your courage and inspired by your freedom, because deep down they also crave the permission to be themselves. Of course, choosing authenticity takes courage, because it often means disappointing others, saying no, or walking a path that few understand. But every time you choose to be real rather than fake, aligned rather than people-pleasing, your inner strength grows. This self-alignment silences insecurity, because you no longer need external validation. Your confidence flows from living in harmony with your identity and purpose. To practice this, start by identifying the areas of your life where you are hiding, pretending, or apologizing for who you are, and gently but firmly choose to step into truth instead. Celebrate your quirks, speak your mind with respect, and pursue the life that lights your soul on fire. The world does not need another imitation, it needs the real you, bold and unafraid. Confidence rooted in authenticity is unshakable because it is built on self-acceptance, and self-acceptance is freedom. That is why living authentically without apology is the final and perhaps most powerful step to becoming the most confident version of yourself. It allows you to stand tall, shine brightly, and live a life that is not only confident, but also deeply fulfilling. As we come to the end of this journey on the 7 steps to becoming the most confident version of yourself, I want to remind you that confidence is not something you are born with. It is something you build day by day, choice by choice. It begins with self-awareness, knowing who you truly are and embracing both your strengths and your imperfections. It grows when you master the art of positive self-talk, because the words you speak to yourself create the world you live in. It shines through your body language, reminding the world and yourself that you are strong, capable, and ready. It deepens when you step outside your comfort zone, daring to face your fears and proving to yourself that you are stronger than your doubt. It strengthens when you learn to turn failures into fuel, seeing setbacks not as endings, but as lessons that prepare you for greater victories. It becomes unshakable when you practice consistency, showing up for yourself again and again, even on the days when motivation is absent. And finally, it multiplies when you surround yourself with empowering people, because the company you keep shapes the confidence you carry. So my advice to you is this: do not wait for confidence to suddenly appear. Create it through action. Speak kindly to yourself. Move boldly even when afraid. Celebrate your progress, and never be ashamed of your authentic self. Be patient with the process, because confidence is not about perfection, it's about persistence. Remember, the most confident version of you is already inside. You just have to uncover it, step by step. Closing prayer. Let us close with a prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the gift of life, strength, and the unique purpose you have placed in each of us. Lord, we ask that you give us the courage to embrace who we truly are and the wisdom to walk confidently in the path you have prepared. Help us to silence the voice of fear and doubt, and instead fill our hearts with faith, boldness, and clarity. May we learn to see failures as lessons, to celebrate every small victory, and to consistently grow into the people you have designed us to be. Surround us with uplifting voices and empowering relationships that remind us of our worth and our calling. And above all, let our confidence not be rooted in pride, but in the assurance that we are created with purpose, loved without condition, and equipped for great. Bless each person listening today, strengthen their journey, and let them step boldly into the world as the most confident version of themselves. In Jesus' mighty name we pray.